Hey, it's Tom and Meredith of the Potato Machine Show, and we're back with a big preview called Behold British Potatoes.
Yeah, and
Great Britain, which involves, of course, England, Wales, and Scotland, has a huge tale to tell. It will probably take us 6 or 7 episodes, but we wanted to give you a little look-see.
yeah, previewing this show, researching this show, I realized that there's so much more than just one show, so we're maybe going to do about 6. So, Meredith, I'm going to come in on this. All right, let's go. So, Britain, Great Britain, is the name of the island. I'm going to get my, and this is, here it is, Scotland, England, and Wales. And we're not talking about Little Britain, which is sometimes refers to as the island of Ireland. This shows the production areas. And all these slides that we're doing here, you can see, you can pause them when you're watching this show and get more information. But there's a mixed reception. Nobody really knows when the potato came to England, but its climate was perfect and it was capable of growing. And we're going to be talking about how the potato production in England helped develop the Industrial Revolution and the British Empire. That's going to be a whole nother show. Let's go on.
But the arrival of the potato has many, many stories, so it's just difficult to put them all together. But here's one of the earliest.
Yeah, here's John Gerard. He was growing potatoes in his garden in London in 1597. So, and he published this book. Some people say he plagiarized a lot of it from the Dutch herbalist. Can we do the next picture? And here he's his description of the first picture of the potato that was published in England. Oh, we're going the other way.
What? Oh, God.
Yeah. Thank you. Some people think that it was Basque fishermen who were catching fish over off Ireland. The Basque people come from Spain and the France area, and of course the Spanish were the ones who brought the potato first Europeans to bring the potato to Europe. So people think that the Basques would have had potatoes on their ships, and when they were drying their cod off the coast of Ireland, they would have come in contact with the Irish and spread the potato that way.
But the Spanish were doing that in 1560, roughly, bringing them to
1570. Yeah, so it was already in the British Isles, the potato, but probably not very well noticed. Some people think that it was Sir Walter Raleigh. He was an Irishman he was a world explorer, brought the potato. This did not happen, but it shows him giving the potato and the Irish peasants growing it. Other people think that for a while that it was Sir Francis Drake who brought the potato to Europe, and the Germans set up a statue honoring him as the bringer of the potato to. He did not either, although he probably didn't come in contact with this. There's no record of him talking about the potatoes. The Germans, the Nazis, tore the statue down in World War II. They didn't want an Englishman statue in their country. Here's a Punch magazine showing Sir Walter Raleigh, who did not bring the potato, but talking to William Cobbett, who was a very influential gardener and writer, who was initially very critical of the potato and wrote very nasty things about it. He caught that anybody who was growing the potato was basically promoting laziness because it was so easy to grow. And he came around to understanding the value of the potato eventually. William Cobbett, next. So the potato was growing. The potato was growing, even though not that many people were paying attention to it. This is a wonderful painting, Potato Harvest by Thomas Lloyd.
Sounds like a Welshman.
Yeah. So, and just to show the popularity among all classes, eventually, these guys were selling baked potatoes in the streets of the cities of London and became very folk heroes. But again, here's this.
They were for eating as well as for keeping your hands warm, by the way.
Here's this gentleman who's having it, and we're going to do a whole nother show about this subject as well. So one of the first cookbooks, very popular cookbook, was by, what's her name, Hannah Glass, and she started printing recipes for potatoes. So this started popularizing. The British were also very good at making farm machinery and innovating things. Here's Here's how they used to plant potatoes. And then Jethro Tull came around. He invented the.
What was his name?
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he invented the first mechanized seed planter, and that revolutionized food production in Britain. I love this photo. This is probably fairly new machinery, the beginning of the 20th century. Potato digger. So back to this. This is Robert Walker Macbeth. He was one of these Victorian artists who went out into the countryside and was recording the life of the people. And this, you can see they're digging the potatoes up there. This is in the Fens, which is a very marshy land in east central England, very good for growing potatoes. And so these people would come, they would gather these women up, mostly and children, during harvest time, and promise them good wages. And they were called potato gangers. They would go around the villages and collect laborers for the.
It looks like it's raining and stormy.
It's a very stormy, rainy area. Yes, I love this painting. We have actually the lithograph of this, which has been in our collection for many years. Kind of getting a glass on it.
By the way, what is he throwing? It looks like he's throwing something.
No, there's a horse. You can't see the horse is pulling the plow. So he's whipping the horse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this painting was exhibited in London in a fashionable exhibition, and these sort of this guy can't
Punch magazine again?
Yeah, this guy can't believe that there's a painting. Oh my gosh! Wait, they're picking potatoes. He didn't think maybe that was a worthy subject for an artist, but there you go. This is a picture of people sorting potatoes after they've been held in the ground for the winter, and you can see that they use these system of shaking the potatoes into different sizes and then pouring them into the bag. You see that? So we did a show on this. You can see that. Here is William Dennis. He was a successful Fens area potato farmer, and he was so successful that he donated the money to have this town hall built in Curtin, which is in the Fens area. And below his statue is bas-relief. Can we go to the next picture, please? Of those things that we're just showing you, the riddle, where they shake them in different sizes and digging the potatoes out of the winter storage out in the fields. And there he is. He was a philanthropist, made so much money that he donated lots of potatoes to feed the poor in London. Here are some Scottish potato diggers, and there again, you can see that they're using the same equipment to sort the sizes and all that. This, can we go to the next one? So, people who were digging potatoes, picking potatoes, were called in Scotland Taddy Hawkers. I think this is something completely new to me, and where you can read these descriptions. Many of these people were brought over from Ireland across the Irish Sea to be kind of migrant laborers, and they some of them stayed and they didn't speak Scottish Gaelic, and they were discriminated against greatly, and we're going to do a whole show on them. Here's a painting showing the Taddy Hawkers at work. Now in Wales, these are not necessarily Irish immigrants or migrant laborers. These could be Welsh women in this case, who were digging the potatoes of this farmer in Wales. And he was known for coming out and providing nice meals and lunch breaks and tea and biscuits and all that. So these look like pretty happy potato pickers. And here's in England, in Scotland, children were given off time from school to pick the potatoes, and they look pretty happy to be out in the fields and not at school. But it was a dangerous job, and we're going to be doing more about that. Again, this is a Punch magazine, and many of the golf courses were taken over growing potatoes during the war because there was a shortage and potatoes and all that food was rationed. So they're having fun digging and collecting and picking potatoes with their.
What do you mean they're golfing?
They're golfing.
Come on, they're trying to get the potato into that basket.
Yeah, there you go.
It's fabulous.
So this is a commercial grower. Eric Jenkins, some years ago, set the record for a number of potatoes that he grew from one set, which is incredible. And this guy is a home gardener who was also a record breaker. So getting potatoes into the big cities, especially London, was made more efficient by the railroads, the railroads, and some of these early morning trains would come in without passengers, and they would be carrying the produce, including one of the trains was nicknamed the Spud, and they would come into, this is King's Cross, I think, station, and this is where the potatoes would be unloaded, and people, the merchants and the restaurateurs and all that would come out and get their potatoes for the day. Marketing potatoes would, this is a seed company, Sutton's a very famous seed company, and look at the number of varieties that they were proud to show off. And then here's another seed company, the Curtis Seed Company, and they named their potatoes, their varieties, after the various kings and princes. And marketing the potato, again, this is a parade. The Potato Marketing Board was something that we were involved with, and again, more promotional potatoes. This was a cartoon based on the idea that in England they were letting kids off schools to do the potato harvest, but some of the communities were cracking down on it because some of these kids were saying, "I'm going to go dig potatoes," and they weren't even in a potato growing area. We've also been looking into all the language. Teddy chopper was tools for chopping up potatoes in the frying pan. Teddy was a dialect of Devonshire for potato. And there's Potato Jones. We'll do a whole show on him. He was a Welsh sea captain who was bringing potatoes to starving people in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. We've collected, these are some wonderful watercolors that we have in the collection, and satirical, making fun of politicians. This is commentator, agitator, and dictator. And then probably some guy, same artist, some farmer came in with potatoes that look like faces, and they had this artist draw them. Bonfire night is a popular time for eating roasted potatoes, because this is a reference to the time when Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, and it's remembered every year on November 5th. This guy is showing something that he likes to create, a little guy that was going to be burned, and so he carves out the potato, really puts some beans in it, strange, and he throws it into the fire. Comes out, he puts a little face and arms on it, and then he wraps it all in meat, tosses that back in, and then there's the nice little feast of God. Good. Okay. We did a show about baked potatoes and jacket potatoes, and these guys are a phenomenon on TikTok and social media. They're up in Preston, and they're called the Spud Bros. They took an old wagon that their uncle was using to sell baked potatoes, and they've made it into a sensation. People come up from all over the world. Here you can see these guys, the Spud Bros. This is just such a wonderful story. That looks all. That's a baked potato under there loaded with. Ew! Look at the crowds. Wait, where's the French fry guy? Look at this. We're not doing him. We're also going to do a whole show on fish and chips. Yeah, and another show on the different specialties of potato specialties around Great Britain, including Welsh cow, which is a meat, and potato stew, which we're going to be doing more about. In Pembrokeshire, in South Wales, is a place which they've always prided themselves on growing the first potatoes that get in the market, nice, fresh, thin-skinned potatoes, and that's another subject. Also, the Brits love their fresh potatoes, their first early potatoes that come out in this late spring. And so they come from Pembrokeshire. They also come from the Jersey Channel Islands. They're known for their yeah. Let's go. And they're very proud of their potatoes. Their early potatoes called the Jersey Royal. You can see they have postage stamps which honor their tradition there. And look at this. So any gardener would be happy, when they see the first growth emerging from the soil. In this case, this is the first potato leaf, and look at all the gardeners in the allotments are all running to see it. And this guy, they're waiting for the bus of the train, and what's it say?
You've already showed me. Oh. He said, look at my new potato. And he said, you've already shown it to me 3 times.
Yeah. The potato helped feed people during the wars, especially the First World War. The Germans had a boycott of the ships coming in, bringing wheat and other supplies to the British Isles. So the potato was encouraged. People were encouraged to grow more, and then there was a shortage of potatoes. So we're going to do a whole nother subject on that. And then the Potato Pete was a little character who was promoting eating more potatoes so that you didn't have to eat so much wheat, which was short. And this woman, Rebecca Earl, has been writing about the potato and the history of potato, and there's these girls. These girls were evacuated during World War II from London during the Blitz, and they were taken out to safer areas and the rest outside the big cities, and they were put to work picking potatoes. Now the BBC and others have. This is a whole documentary about the potato, but look at that headline.
I'm so sick of that word humble. The powerful potato.
Right. It's a lazy way.
We're working on it. We're working on eliminating that.
We're going to do another show. All right. So that's the end of that slideshow. I'm just going to show you a few things here. I'm going to pass this over to Meredith. Yeah.